Kapuziner Dunkel Weissbier.
Life is too short to be drinking shitty beer.
Welcome to another edition of Band, Bikes and Booze Reviews. I've got one here from Germany and it is the Kapuziner Weissbier. It's a Dunkel Weissbier. And this is brewed by the Kulmbacher Brewery, which is based in a place called Kulmbach, believe it or not. And that is in Upper Franconia in Bavaria, and they are quite a good brewery. They do the Mönchhof beer, which I've tried a couple of them. I tried the Dunkel last night, that was really nice, and I've also tried their, I think it's the original, which was like a lager, a Helles type beer, and that was really nice too. They've been going quite a while, this brewery. They have origins that go back to 1895, same year that West Ham United were founded, and they have expanded steadily ever since, sadly, unlike West Ham United. In the 1980s, they took over quite a few breweries, and currently they brew their own stuff, the Kulmbacher stuff. They brew the Kapuziner stuff, and also the Mönchhof stuff as well. So, you know, there's another one as well, the Eku range of beers, which I've got one to try actually in the fridge. I've got the Pils that they do, so that'll be intriguing to see what that tastes like. If you're wondering where the name comes from, Kapuziner, that is actually a name for a member of the original Franciscan order, hence the picture of the monk on the front. Now, I don't know much about this. There isn't much that I could glean from this, or certainly what's on the website anyway, whether there was actually a monastery at the time that was brewing beer and the Kulmbacher Brewery have taken it over. There is some stuff in German on the back, which unfortunately I can't translate. I should have done really, shouldn't I? But, oh well, there you go. It's just basically, it's nothing about the history of the place, it's just saying about dark wheat beer, what it tastes like. So, yeah, there you go. I think Heineken have a stake in this brewery as well, and I don't know when they took that over, but I don't think they own it outright. I think they just have a stake in it. So yeah, that's really all I can tell you about the history of this beer. So let's stop guessing and let's investigate. (5.1%), 500ml bottle, and the label is quite nice. As I said before, it is of a monk from the Franciscan order, the original Franciscan order. I have tried their, I think I've tried their Weizen or Weissbier before. I should clear this up actually, and I've probably mentioned it, I certainly mentioned it in the history of Weissbier video that I've done. If you've not looked at that and you're interested in the history of Weissbier, please look at that. If a beer says Weissbier on the label, it's from Bavaria. If it says Weizen on the label, it's from outside Bavaria. There's no difference in the ingredients. They usually conform to the Reinheitsgebot. It's just some arrangement that the Germans have, that only the breweries from Bavaria are allowed to use the word Weissbier. I think it goes back to the original Weissbier, which was, I think, brewed by Hofbrau, and there was some royal decree that only allowed Bavarian brewers to use that term. There's more in the video that I've done, so have a look on that. Yeah, so there you are. Nice label, flip top bottle, cap. Let's get it open. Let's see what's going on. I love that noise. I love it. I love it. Right, now I'm pouring it out of into a Tuka glass, another good Bavarian brewery who do fantastic Weissens. Now, as always, you pour it out. There is, and it says it on the label as well, I'll just quickly show you what's on the label. It's got Hefe Dunkel Naturtrüb. Naturtrüb means naturally cloudy. Dunkel, of course, means dark, and Hefe means yeast in German, not wheat. Now, always give the bottle a swig, because when they say yeast, it means there's yeast in the bottle that needs to come out. That is where your flavour is, in the yeast. Now, all Reinheitsgebot beer is brewed from the same 4 ingredients. Where the variations come within the yeast, and that's where you get your Weissbier and your Dunkelweiss and your Weizenbock. That all comes from the yeast. And there you have it. It looks like a Bavarian Cornetto, doesn't it? Looks lovely. Dark brown in colour, murky dark brown, huge 3-finger, foamy, slightly off-white head. Oh, it smells really nice. Lots of caramel malt in that. Caramel malt, a little bit of spice, banana and clove. There's more malt character coming out of this than there is anything else, which is what I'd expect. That's why I actually prefer Dunkelweizen to your average or your normal Hefeweizen. Anyway, before this head dissipates, let's get this down my fat Gregory Peck. Zum Wohl, as they say in Germany. Cool, you really can get that roasted malt flavour in there, and you've got the banana and clove in there too, but you really do get, on that first mouthful, you really did get that roasted barley bitterness from there. It was really nice. It's not bad, I will say that. Banana and clove is there. The nice malts are there. You've got a nice base malt on this, but then on the finish you do get that roasted caramel malt, almost toffee-like, and then a little bit of spice on the end of that. A little bit of black pepper just gives it a nice little bitter finish that goes with that roasted caramel malt. I see some reviewers reviewing German Weissbier, and they talk about coriander flavours that they get. I don't know whether they're getting confused with Belgian Witbier, but I never get coriander flavour from a German Weizen. I do get some spices. I obviously get the clove, that's in there as well. Maybe a little bit of black pepper if you've got some of them noble Hallertau or Perla hops that they put in there, but you don't really get the coriander. I don't know where they're getting that from, and it's certainly not in this one either. This is all about the roasted malt. Yeah, that's quite nice. Nice bit of almost like toast on the finish as well, and then a very slight bitterness that comes from that roasted malt, and that is not a bad effort. It's certainly not the best, and I will say the body on it is slightly weak. I've had Weissens before from some of the better ones from Bavaria, and it's real full-bodied stuff. I wouldn't say heavy, but full-bodied. That's the only way to describe it, really. And this is very slightly watery, but that's a minor gripe. It's still quite nice. So what's the verdict on Kapuziner Weissbier? Yeah, not bad. Certainly got all the characteristics of a Dunkel Weizen, or a Dunkel Weiss. It's got, you know, the caramel malt, the banana, the clove, a little bit of spice like black pepper from the noble hop content in here. It's not the best Weiss beer I've tried, certainly not the best one from Bavaria, and I will say that the body is a little bit, for my taste anyway, slightly watery, but aside from that, it is not bad at all. I'm just looking at the state of this geezer's head on that. Fucking state of that head. I've woke up with hangovers where my head has felt like that. But that shape, honestly, it's like it's been set on fire and put out with a fucking cricket bat. Yeah. It's not bad. I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10. I've certainly tasted worse dark wheat beers before. It's reasonably drinkable. I think this is quite cheap as well. I think it's about $2.60 or something like that. $2.70. Got it from Beers of Europe. No, I didn't. I lie. This came from the Bavarian Beer Club, I think it's called. New one I've tried. They've got some great beers in there. I've reviewed a lot of the stuff they sell, but they do some of the rarer ones, and I've managed to get hold of them. So they're in the fridge waiting to be reviewed. But yeah, not bad. I'll give that an 8 out of 10. Couple of marks knocked off. One for the weak style body. And the other mark it's just because it's not the best wheat beer I've tried. So there you go. And remember, beer is working class champagne.